All right, so we're diving in today with a look at what's happening right here in New York City.
Yeah, we're going to take all the stuff you flagged and really unpack it.
Yeah, so it's Friday, March 21st, 2025.
First day of spring.
Spring has sprung, supposedly.
And, you sent me over a bunch of articles and news snippets. And I got to say, it's a real mixed bag of stuff happening out there.
It is, yeah.
So we're going to kind of take a deep dive into three main things that you pulled out that I think are pretty interesting.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So first of all, the weather, of course, because, it's spring, but doesn't exactly feel like it.
Right, it does not.
And then second, we'll hit on Yankee Stadium. They've got this whole new menu situation happening.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that.
And then lastly, things take a little bit of a turn because we have to talk about what's going on in Chinatown with the temple attacks there.
Yeah, so let's give everyone listening kind of the rundown based on what you saw in the article.
Perfect. Yeah, a little briefing on what's happening in the city today, just based on, what you sent over. All right, so let's start with the weather, shall we?
Sure.
Classic New York story here. Got to talk about the weather.
Always.
It is the first day of spring, but according to all these reports you sent, Mother Nature is kind of letting us down a little bit.
Yeah, how so?
Rain and more rain, basically.
Steady rain all day.
If you're out there today, definitely grab an umbrella. You're going to need it.
Yeah, and I see here, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so like 10 degrees Celsius, which, it's not freezing or anything.
Right, it's mild.
It's mild.
But it's wet.
Yeah, not exactly that beautiful spring day you picture.
No, not quite.
But I did see in one of the articles you sent over, they interviewed this New Yorker.
Oh, yeah, what'd they say?
And I love that they said, I was hoping for sunshine, but hey, at least it's not snow.
Classic New Yorker right there.
Now, gotta find the silver lining.
Always.
But it's interesting, you send over this weather report, and they were saying that actually this kind of rainy start to spring is pretty typical for New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like all these shifting air masses, and winter's kind of clinging on,
Right.
So it's like this weird battle between the seasons happening.
I guess that makes sense. It is that time of year when things are changing over.
Yeah, so it makes you appreciate those warm, sunny days even more when they finally get here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's switch gears now.
Okay, what do we got?
Because this Yankee Stadium thing you sent over is really intriguing.
Yep.
It's like, forget the baseball for a second. We're talking about food.
Well, yeah, I mean, the baseball's always going to be there, but
Right.
This season, they've totally redone the menu for 2025.
It's crazy.
From what I saw in all those press releases and fan reactions you sent me, it's like a major upgrade.
It is. This is not your average hot dog and pretzel situation anymore.
Not at all. It seems like the Yankees are really up in their game, trying to make it, a real experience when you go to the stadium.
Yeah, so what kind of stuff can people actually expect to find when they go to a game this season?
Well, if you're feeling like something light, there's actually Bondi Sushi there.
Wait, Sushi at a baseball game?
I know, right? Pretty unexpected.
That is.
They're doing fresh sushi rolls there. And then you've also got the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
Okay, hold on. Dumplings at a baseball game?
That's what I thought, too.
What is happening?
But apparently they've got all these crazy dumpling creations, like really unique flavors.
Okay, well, I'm going to need to see this to believe it.
I know. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, all right. What else?
So apparently a fan favorite is coming back, the 99 burger.
Oh, yeah, I saw people talking about that online last year.
Yeah, all over those forums you sent me, everyone was raving about it, saying it was like a really good quality burger.
Right.
And then for something a little different, they're going to have Benihana Steakhouse Bites.
Okay, so like a Japanese twist on stadium food.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then this one really caught my eye. They've got a stuffed Jamaican beef patty.
Ooh, tell me more about this patty.
So from what I read, it's packed with flavor. And it comes with this cilantro lime slaw and a jerk BBQ aioli.
Okay, stop. You had me at jerk BBQ aioli.
I know, right? It sounds amazing.
Like, that's not your typical ballpark fare.
No, not at all.
It's like a whole culinary adventure.
Right.
And, you included some fan reactions, and people are already going crazy for this food.
Oh, yeah.
I saw one quote that said, I came here for baseball, but honestly, the food stole the show.
That's amazing.
And then someone else was like, who knew sushi and baseball would go so well together?
They're really changing the game.
They are. It's like Yankee Stadium is becoming a foodie destination.
I know. It's so interesting how these venues are like really focusing on the whole experience now.
Right.
Like it's not just about the game itself.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's the food, it's the atmosphere, it's all part of it.
Totally. And I think that's smart because it makes people want to come back. It's like you create this whole experience and people are like, I want more of that. So if you're heading to a game this season, definitely go hungry.
Definitely plan some time for exploring all that food.
All right, so we need to talk about this other situation that you flagged in Chinatown.
Yeah, this one's definitely a lot more serious.
Yeah, it's really disturbing, actually. There's been these attacks on temples in Chinatown.
It's awful, and it's been happening for a few weeks now.
Yeah, like multiple temples have been targeted.
Yeah, and the articles you sent over talk about vandalism, like broken windows and even damage to religious artifacts inside the temples.
It's just heartbreaking, and you can imagine how scared people must be.
Absolutely, it's such a violation.
But thankfully, it looks like the NYPD has arrested someone.
That's good news.
Yeah, and they're facing hate crime charges.
Which is, completely appropriate in this situation.
Right. Can you explain a little bit about what hate crime charges actually mean?
Sure. So hate crime laws basically exist to address crimes where the motivation is prejudice against a specific group. So it could be based on someone's race, their religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, disability, all sorts of things.
So in this case, it's because they targeted places of worship.
Exactly.
So it's prejudice against a specific religion.
Right. And the experts you quoted in your research, they explain that these hate crime charges, they usually have harsher penalties than if it was just vandalism or something.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because it recognizes that this kind of crime, it impacts more than just the immediate victim.
Right.
It's like an attack on the whole community.
Makes sense.
And on society as a whole, it creates this fear and division.
Absolutely. You included this really powerful quote from a member of the Chinatown community.
Oh, yeah. What do they say?
They said, "It's heartbreaking to see our places of worship disrespected. We need more protection."
It's just awful.
You can just feel the pain and fear in their words.
And it makes you realize these temples, they're not just buildings.
No, there's so much
They're like
harm.
the heart of the community.
Right, and this whole situation, it's really sparked a lot of conversation about hate crimes here in New York.
Yeah, and about how to keep communities safe.
Exactly.
It's such an important discussion to have.
Absolutely, and the authorities are urging people to report any suspicious activity.
Yeah, that's so intense.
Like if you see something, say something.
Right, because that can really help prevent these things from happening.
Totally. It's like we all need to look out for each other.
Absolutely. It takes a village, as they say.
All right, well, that's a wrap for our deep dive today, based on what you saw in all those articles and reports.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
We did, from the soggy start to spring to those amazing new food options at Yankee Stadium to this really serious situation in Chinatown.
Like a snapshot of everything happening in the city.
Yeah, all the different layers, from the everyday stuff to these huge issues that we need to address.
Exactly.
As you're out there today, maybe dogging some raindrops or, picturing yourself biting into that Jamaican beef patty.
I know, right? That jerk BBQ aioli.
I can't stop thinking about.
Me neither.
But seriously, think about this. What does it really mean to feel safe and respected in a city like New York?
That's such a good question.
And how do these seemingly random events like a stadium menu and these acts of vandalism, how are they all connected?
Because they are connected.
They are. It's all part of this big, complex city that we live in.
Yeah, and it's constantly changing.
So just something to think about, as you go about your day.
Definitely food for thought.
All right. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And we'll catch you next time.
See you then.